What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Michael here, Shy City Yacker. And if you are new here, hey man, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. I think you're gonna like what I'm gonna share with you today. And that is a question I get asked a lot of in regards to me fishing for salmon and trout on Lake Michigan. And that is, what are some of your best lures that get you fish all the time? And so that question made me think, well, why don't I do a series of videos breaking down my favorite colors, styles of bait to use in each of the different categories, flies, some cranks, and of course spoons. Those are primarily what I use off of my kayak. And so in this video, I'm gonna break down my top 6 colors for spoons to use on Lake Michigan. Now, there are so many different colors. If you go into any bait shop that sells spoons for fishing salmon on Lake Michigan, Great Lakes and whatnot, you're gonna see walls of colors and sizes and styles, and it's completely overwhelming. It was for me when I first got into this style of fishing years ago. But over the course of time of me obviously being on the water, putting my time in on the water, learning from other more experienced salmon anglers on Lake Michigan, both boaters, captains, and of course other kayak fishermen, I learned and I honed in on some colors that really produce throughout the year. And so I want to share with you what those are and see if you want to go ahead and add those to your tackle box. With that being said, let's get started. And these are in no particular order really, so let's just jump into it. All right, so first let's start off with those of you that are looking to get into that big king bite, man. There's one color for me that does really well throughout the year for targeting and getting those kings and oftentimes bigger kings to bite, and that is going to be this caramel dolphin color of spoons. Now I have 2 sizes here. This one here is more of the stinger size, a little slimmer profile, and here is the magnum size. The difference is here is the stingers is pretty much just a flat finish, slimmer profile, while the magnum here is kind of plated. So you see it's got some of the little plating in there in the backside. It's like that. Obviously it's a bigger profile. Throughout the year, kings for some reason really like this color, and it does well. It'll get you those bites. Of course, you'll catch some coho, but for whatever reason, this color scheme seems to do really well with those kings. And for me, deciding on which one I'm gonna put on really depends on what the fish are honed in on. Now, colors are important, but more important than colors with spoons is gonna be the size. Sometimes these fish will want the slimmer profile of a stinger type spoon. Sometimes they're honed in on bigger size prey in the water, and so these magnums do better. So you got to kind of play around with it. Generally, my thing with spoons is I'll put them in the water for 15 to 20 minutes. If I don't get bit, I'll rotate those spoons in and out to figure out and kind of hone in on what they're looking for. And the next color you got to have right here, man, it's called Happy Meal. Why they call it that, I don't even know, but that's what it's called. And it's a pretty simple looking spoon here. It's just a glow color white, right? This will glow in the dark, and a blue UV reflected tape down the middle, as you see here. That's it. Silver on the inside. This is made by Moonshine here. Different brands make the same kind of scheme here, but this Happy Meal color does really well with kings. Once again, it'll get you bites throughout the year, and it is another essential in my spoon box. Continuing on, I'd like to introduce to you right here, it's called Blue Jean. As you see, the pattern is pretty much a same blue stripe as you saw in the Happy Meal. It's got some of the white, but this time it has some blue painted on the tips and the ends, and a orange dot kind of towards the back end. This is another one made by Moonshine. This is kind of a plated style. It's on the slimmer side, almost like a stinger size spoon, and this is really good. I find this one really works for me the most in summertime when those fish are deep. I drop this down 60 feet, somewhere in that range. Generally, I'm fishing deeper, 50, 60 feet with this thing, and it'll produce some good king bites. Now, there's very little debate here that some of the best salmon you can eat out of Lake Michigan are gonna be your coho salmon. And one of the best times to target them, and easiest times to target them, is in the early spring. When that water temp of Lake Michigan starts to get right into the 50s, these fish will come in on the southern basin, down in Indiana waters and lower Illinois, and they start migrating up north slowly. And if you could target them, oh, it's a fantastic bite. This year itself was amazing for me. And one lure that works really well for coho, especially coho, is this double orange crush. This is another stinger size profile lure, very slim, They destroy this thing. I don't know what it is about orange. They either really love it or they must hate it, because they bite this all the time. Lures that have orange in it are going to get you some of those coho bites. And this right here is a pretty simple design. You've got orange on each side. In the middle, you have the silver of the spoon itself, and that's it. It's it. And it works really, really well, especially in the spring for those springtime coho. It will get you bit throughout the year, but I find this thing, when it's early spring, we're out here for those coho, this is on one of my rods. I'm putting it back in the water for those coho bites. All right, the next spoon I want to share with you is one that if you are going to do any kind of fishing when it's still dark out, whether you're fishing just before sunup, usually that hour to 30 minutes before sunup, and about an hour to 2 hours, depends, after sundown, when you're fishing out there, you need a glow spoon. And this one in particular is an essential. It absolutely is essential. This is the Flounder Pounder right here. Now, I know it looks kind of crazy because you got this green kind of tip, and you got some black streaks on it, and you got some white and a black dot on there. When I first saw this, I'm like, huh, really, this works? It works. Shoot a little light on it, drop it down in there, and if you're fishing in that time frame, you know, before sunup or just after sundown when it's dark out there and you need some glow in the water, this Flounder Pounder will get you bites. It works really, really well, and in my opinion, it's one of my favorite glow spoons to use. Now, finally, if there was just one spoon that I had to use throughout the year and I can only use it and that's it, let me show you what that would be. And really there's two kind of variations of it, but it's essentially the same thing. Let me introduce to you guys the Blue Dolphin and Green Dolphin stinger spoons. I am telling you, these produce, for me, the most. I have the most confidence in these two colors here to use them throughout the year. Early spring, throughout the summer months, into the fall. These get bit by everything. Steelies, Lakers, trout, the Browns, I mean, the Kings, of course. I absolutely love these. I have many, many, many of these in my spoon box, and they are an essential. And if I had to recommend one kind of spoon for you to get, it would have to be the blue or the green Dolphin, and or both. Add them into your inventory. They get bit. They work great. You can work them at different levels depending on where you're marking fish at. Just drop them down and they're gonna get bit. So those are my 6 essential colors of spoons that I run throughout the year. I have the most confidence in them. I know they will get bit. They produce year round, and those are some of the ones that I would recommend for you to look into adding into your spoon box for fishing on Lake Michigan for salmon. Now, of course, there are so many other colors, and depending on the person, they're gonna have their own set of favorites. So by no means is this a end all be all. Don't get that confused. These are the ones that I have the greatest confidence in, that I know I can run to and they catch fish. And I have plenty of other spoons and various other colors in my box that I do use. In fact, mixed veggies. Let me not forget about mixed veggies. This is also one that produces really well. Again, 2 different variations here. You got the stinger size, slim profile of it, and then I have the magnum size version of this, which is kind of plated, so you see the rigidity in it, a bigger profile of it. Kings love these things. I use these, but not as often as these 6, which is why I didn't really include it in here, but now I am, because as a kind of a forethought, I really do like these as well. But I kind of go to these after some of these other ones have been gone through and I'm not getting bit. All right, let me get out the mixed veggies. Let's see if they want that instead. And so this is another good color to, I would say, add as well. So I guess this turned into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me stop here before I keep going, because that's the problem with these spoons, is there's so many different colors, different times of the year, and different situations. Some work better than others. And again, depending on who you ask, they'll give you an entirely different list of colors for their top 5 or top 6 or top 7. So just wanted to share with you what I found works for me, and see if it gives it a try and if it works for you. All right, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? If you have any questions about some of these spoons, or if you have a collection for yourself that are some of your go-tos, what colors are those? Because you might really have a high confidence in a color that I don't really have or do, and maybe I need to try that myself. So I would love to hear that in the comments below, and I definitely appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, turn on notifications, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, y'all. Peace.